So hi, I'm Shinri, and this is my partner Krystyna, and we are Très Bien. This fall, we were enrolled in an engineering design course together, in which we identified this as a problem. And we won the Philip R. Jackson Engineering Sciences Prize for our work, and encouraged by the overwhelming amount of positive feedback from professors, from our peers, and our users, we decided to take the next step and take our product to market. And so today, we're going to tell you a little bit about that journey, through the classroom, out of the classroom, and into a viable business.
So Shinri and I were teammates in our Introduction to Engineering course this past fall 2013, along with 2 other female sophomore engineering majors. And the objective of the course was to develop a solution to a mobility or portability challenge. And so one night in the beginning of the term, we were out to dinner at Molly's, and we started talking to this beautiful young woman here named Kirsten. And she's been a waitress for 6 years, and she told us that she, and along with all the other servers in Molly's, already experienced severe tendonitis and are quote-unquote just waiting for carpal tunnel. And carpal tunnel is caused by the extreme wrist position when carrying these heavy, unwieldy serving trays, and it's caused by compression of the median nerve. And that compression leads to tendonitis, which then leads to carpal tunnel. And so the moment we met Kirsten was when we knew that we had to tackle this often overlooked issue, and we were ready to do it. And so we had a very iterative process with a lot of human-centered design, and we got a lot of feedback from restaurant servers and managers in Hanover, and that was the great aspect of our project, was that we had the ability to constantly test and get feedback. And so this is a sample survey that was filled out by one server based on the standard serving tray. And we really focused initially on identifying all of the problems associated with the standard serving tray to really define our need. And so as you can see, the standard serving tray right here, it ranks low in comfort, ease of use, the range of vertical motion, and stability and steadiness, and aesthetics. And so just imagine for a moment, if you had a tray that maybe was a 9 or above on all of those. It was comfortable, ergonomically sound, easy to use, easy to get used to, easy to stash and stow away. It was dishwasher safe, very lightweight. You could go up and down and around, and it was very stable and steady and, to us, aesthetically pleasing. So just imagine that for a moment. So we also tried to imagine that for a while. We had a very iterative design process, as I said, and essentially that meant that we messed up a lot. So our first goal was to make an attachment piece, a universal attachment piece that could stick onto any tray out there. And so we thought, oh, a suction cup might be good for that. So someone recommended that we try out this tool that's used to carry large slabs of glass. And so we tested that out, and needless to say, it did not work out. So at that point, we had our first insight, which was to completely revamp and redesign from scratch a serving tray. And so after some additional surveying on that topic, we came to the conclusion that we wanted to make our tray specific for beverages. So that was our second insight. We found that most servers carried plates of food up their arms, and they didn't even use trays for food as much anymore, but they always use trays to carry beverages, and that's particularly difficult. And our third insight, so we had these other prototypes here that were very complex, and we realized that the best aspect of the standard serving tray is that it's so simple. And we didn't want to over-engineer a tray if we didn't have to. So we decided to make our tray as simple as possible while meeting all user needs. And so this is our favorite machine in the machine shop, the ShopBot. We spent a lot of time on this, making our design a physical reality. And the course was really great because it enabled us to be exposed to all of these different prototyping methods available to engineers today. So that was a lot of fun. And we also had some skilled resources available to us, such as our teaching assistant and our machine shop instructor, who are featured in this photo here. So this is our final team at the end of the 10 weeks of trying and failing and proving, and we're with our final tray here. And the other 2 group members, after we decided to go forward with it, they decided not to continue because of other commitments, but we're so grateful to them for the amazing opportunity we had. And so at this point, Shinri and I didn't know that we wanted to take this one step further at all. So it actually happened that we were at the final product display session for the course, where every team was presenting their invention. And it wasn't until a Thayer professor came up to us and said, "You need to patent this now," that we realized we had to do something. So at that very moment, we actually left our booth, ran upstairs with our professor, Professor Bex, for the course, left the booth to one of our friends, and we started filing documents to get started with the patent right there. And our professor in the course also connected us to a patent attorney who was working pro bono for the college, and also to a Tuck School business professor, Professor Fairbrothers. And at that moment, we had no idea where any of this would take us, but we were really excited to get going.
So let me tell you guys a little bit about the tray one more time. So the idea is that, as you can see, the glasses lock in place, lower the center of gravity, and are also easy to take in and out. And you can also put in things like tumblers, pint glasses, and everything. And so the main difference between this and the standard serving tray is that when this happens, everything stays locked right in place. And if I had done that with glasses on the standard serving tray, as I did earlier, we would have ended up with glass shattered all over the ground, my day as a server ruined, my customer's shirt stained with wine, and my restaurant's reputation tarnished. And so, the first day of winter term, we'd spent a little bit of time during winter break leading up to it, working with our patent attorney in order to file a provisional patent. And so we somehow sort of stumbled into Professor Fairbrothers' office. We had our idea, we had sort of this provisional patent, but we didn't really know what we were going to do. And so this was one of the most critical parts of our journey. He was excited by our enthusiasm and our energy, and he put us in touch with the VP of Sales at the largest independent distributor of food service supply in the Mid-Atlantic region. And so we got a call with him, got a chance to pitch our idea to him, and amazingly, he gave us a spot to exhibit at the trade show that his distribution company was going to be hosting at the Washington Redskins Stadium during March 11th and 12th. And so March 11th and 12th, that might sound a little bit familiar to some of the students in the audience, maybe. It's because that was right smack dab during the middle of winter term finals week. And so we had our priorities straight. We decided to skip our finals. No, well, actually we rescheduled them, but we flew down to DC during finals week and were able to pitch our product over and over again to the hundreds and thousands of customers that came through the trade show during those 2 days. And so we had people coming up to us and saying, "Wow, I've been in the industry for over 30 years, but I can't believe I hadn't thought of this sooner. And I wish that I'd come up with this themselves." And so there we answered our business's most critical question. Do people really want to buy this thing? And so the answer was yes. We took almost 2,000 pre-orders in just the 2 days that we were there and made our proof of concept. And so now that we'd promised all these people that we were actually going to produce this for them, we needed to get some balls rolling. So we got a patent attorney, and so we had our distribution in place and also set up as a limited liability corporation in the state. And so this is a photo of us also at the trade show, when right before we left, we were holed up in the machine shop with our shoppa again, cranking out new prototype trays, and also went down to the Thayer Communications office, got some Thayer pins, bumper stickers, which were a lot more popular with our clientele than we'd originally anticipated. But so there we connected with a manufacturer that we're working with today. And we also were approached a few times from different companies about licensing our product. But we decided that because we'd originally entered this whole experience, this project, in order to learn about just doing business in general and get the whole entrepreneurship experience, we decided to sort of forego that for at least a year and do the organize the distribution and manufacturing ourselves by working through a distributor. And so spring term, we came back to Hanover and were in the Dartmouth Ventures Entrepreneurship Contest. It was about five different rounds of judging. We started out in the undergraduate business plan competition and then somehow made it among the more than 100 alums, MBAs, grad students, alumni, Thayer students, faculty, everyone that had a startup entered in that competition. We somehow made it into the finals and ended up winning both first place and the People's Choice Award there. So the People's Choice was that the almost 300 people in the audience voted for our product. And so there, after that, we were also able to get a lawyer through Dartmouth Ventures and also set up a website. And so today, we're proud to say that we're manufacturing in the US and just placed our largest order, our first official large order a few days ago. And so it's more money than we've ever seen in our lives, but it was absolutely made possible by everything that Dartmouth has offered us in terms of resources, advising, financial, and the infrastructure that it has in place.
Right.
And so please look forward to seeing Très Bien in a restaurant near you, hopefully within the next year or two.
And as Shinri mentioned earlier, this has been the most exciting few months of our lives. We never could have expected this. And it's really empowering to be both female engineers and entrepreneurs and also holding our own as students. And last year in September, that was the first time when we had met Kirsten and gotten the inspiration to develop a new and better way to serve. And hopefully by that same time this September, we will have delivered thousands of trays to customers. And so that process was made possible and by, one, the valuable connections to mentors such as Professor Fairbrothers and Professor Vext. Two, by seizing that opportunity to go down to the trade show, even though it was during finals week. And three, finding out pretty early on that this was something that we were going to make time for and we wanted to make time for and make sacrifices for. But we wouldn't trade the tray for the world. That's what we keep saying. So thank you so much.